cracking, YouTube? It's me, your host, Toon, aka the Comic Book Thug. Once again, bringing a comic book review. This time is for the Amazing Spider-Man #1, Renew Your Vows, Secret Wars tie-in. Was actually then on the fence about this. I didn't read the first Renew Your Vows, the original one, but it's a Secret Wars tie-in, so I thought, why not? So let's just jump straight into the comic. We pick up and we see Mary Jane Parker, I guess Mary Jane Watson Parker, sitting at the table with Peter, and their daughter, and their daughter Annie, yeah, Annie, and they're feeding each other. Peter, Mary Jane's feeding Annie, and Peter's working on his web shooters, and Mary Jane asks him like, why you been coming home later and later every day? And he's saying because he's been taking up the slack for. He's been fighting not only his bad guys, but Daredevils and Iron Fist. Like, it seems like he's been taking up the slack for everybody, and he don't know why. But he's gonna try to figure out a way to be home more. So then we see we at the Daily Bugle, and we see Peter running in, saying that I got some new pictures of Spider-Man taking out some bad guys. When Robbie said this is not the right time, we can't run that, and Peter's like, wow, why I can't run? And then we find out Ben Orchard basically tells Peter that Punisher, Moon Knight, and a boy going by the name of Night Thrasher has all been killed. Like they're killed, and Daredevil was missing. Yeah, Daredevil and Iron Fist is missing. So that's that. So Peter is like freaking out because they don't know what's going on. So he goes to the Avengers mansion, and they're already there in the meeting. And we see the Avengers, you know, the normal Avengers. We see the New Warriors, Hawk and Namor. The Hawk and Namor are there, and they're talking about how non-powered members of the community, good guys and bad guys, have been getting killed, and how some of them are disappearing, and how they can't even get in contact with the Xavier School and none of the X-Men, and they trying to figure out what's going to happen. So so Iron Man invites Peter to bring his family to stay at Avengers Tower, and Peter said I can't do that because that's gonna like compromise my secret identity. And Iron Man basically said, your identity is the one thing that has been keeping you on the outside of the Avengers. Like, that's the one thing. Because I never realized that Spider-Man is the only one who has an identity anymore. Like, really. Like, and I like that the comic, just take a break real quick, I like that the writers are staying true to that, like, not letting nobody know his identity. I mean, we know that people know his identity, but that's only in certain stories and certain comics and certain worlds. And, like, the main continuity worlds, and of these worlds, no one knows Spider-Man is Peter Parker. And I kind of like that because it's like he's the last one. But anyway, back to that. So Peter, he goes in the room and he calls Mary Jane and tells her what's going on, and if they should move like to the Avengers mansion, mansion or whatever. So in the midst of this, Hawkeye calls Captain America and says that there's been a big riot in Rikers, but Captain America said he needs all hands on that because they found out that the person that's in charge, that's been taking that's been killing everybody and making people disappear is Augustus Roman, Augustus Roman, and he's the CEO of Empire Unlimited, a company researching superhuman abilities and biotechnology. So he need all hands on deck. So, but in the midst of that, Spider-Man realized that if Rikers Island is rioting and people are getting away, someone's gonna break free. And so he runs back home, and when he gets there, we see Venom, Eddie Brock, Venom, and he has Mary Jane Watson. He has Mary Jane and the baby in his hands. So Spider-Man starts fighting him hard, fighting him, trying to hurt him. And Mary Jane grabs the baby and runs off. So we see the Avengers go to Empire Unlimited, and we see that Augustus is like powered up, like he's like super powered, and he says, "From this day on, call me Regent." Yeah, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but Regent. That's my new name now. And so he starts fighting all the Avengers, and we go back to Peter Parker and Spider-Man. They're still fighting, and they're like Venom is trying to get to Mary Jane and the baby, and Spider-Man is following them. But Spider-Man had a chance to choose the Avengers or choose his family, and this is where the story flips side. Because in the original story, Spider-Man chose to go help the Avengers, and they won and everything. But in this one, he chose to save his family. So we actually see the Hulk tries to go punch Regent, and first his arm turned into Colossus' arm, so he broke the Hulk's hand. Then he shot Hulk with a Cyclops eye beam, and then he grabbed his arm and transported like Nightcrawler, and he basically just ripped Hulk's arm off. So he has all the X-Men power. So and he has Professor X power because he was talking to them as the Avengers was coming towards him. He was talking to them telepathically. So we go back to Spider-Man and Venom fighting, and Mary Jane, she gets to a fire truck, and she turns a siren on. That kind of weakens him a little bit. So Spider-Man fights him inside of a burning building, and Venom says, "I'm never going to stop. Like, now I know your weakness, and this is your child. I'm never going to stop until I eat her brains." So Spider-Man says he's not going to let that happen, and he does the unthinkable, and what looks like is he kills Venom. He knocks down the building, he kills Venom. So Spider-Man crawls out of the building, and Mary Jane asks him, like, is he dead? And he said, "I did what I had to do." But then we see Venom's hand comes out, but as his hand comes out, the hand falls. Like, Ellie Brock is dead, but the Venom symbiote squirms away. And then we see Peter talking, like narrating, because he looks up at the Avengers Tower. I mean, the other tower where the Avengers was fighting, and he says that's the night that every hero died, because all the Avengers are dead. Like, Regent killed all of them. And the comic ends where we see Peter saying that that was the day I learned what triumphs great power, and that's an even greater responsibility. And it shows him walking his daughter across the street, and it says, "It's not a perfect world, but I look after me and mine, and that's good enough." And that's how the story ends. Wow, I really like this book. Like I said, I didn't read the original story, so I didn't know about it, and I was kind of skeptical because like these side stories, Spider-Man don't really be that good. Like the one that's going on now, the Spider-Man Spiral, whatever, with 3-issue thing, that's kind of horrible. But wow, this was a good book, because not only did you see Spider-Man attempt to kill, which he said he would never do, is he turned his back on his fellow heroes, and he chose his family over that. And wow, and he turns his back on. He's not Spider-Man no more either. I'm sure he's gonna become Spider-Man again, but because he says, like, I gotta protect my family. So this was a great book. This is a must pick up. So far, this is next to Old Man Logan. This has got to be my favorite Secret Wars tie-in. This is a great book. Just wow, this is a good book. But yeah, that's my review for the Amazing Spider-Man #1, Renew Your Vows, Secret Wars. Let me know in the comments below if you picked up this book, and let me know if you liked it, disliked it, and why. Leave your positive and negative comments below. Like, subscribe, share. Follow my Twitter and my Instagram, which is in the description below. And as always, from me, your host, Toon, aka the Comic Thug. Have a nice day.
That's all, folks.